doing well. I am back-ish after yet another inexcusable and ridiculously long hiatus. It turns out that if the world is falling apart, the last thing I want to do is publish stuff to YouTube, although maybe that would have been a better use of my time than like literally anything else I'd been doing, because it would have given us some entertainment, maybe. But sure enough, I have been knitting, crocheting, cross-stitching up a storm in the past, I don't know, year and a half since the last time I posted. So I'm here for an update, and I think I have an idea of how to kind of keep this thing rolling. For me, it's kind of a pain in the butt to put a face on, even so much as like put actual clothes on and sit myself in front of a camera and ramble for, I don't know, an hour or more at a time, and then take that and edit it down into 20 minutes. Like, that's a lot of work for me. I appreciate other people who do that, but I just can't. It's just not in my mental capacity to be able to do that, at least not now. So I think what I'm going to do, and you can tell me if you like it or not after this video, is split up the things that I'm doing and working on into smaller vlog-like clips, sort of like what people do around Vlogmas. And that was kind of my inspiration after watching a whole bunch of people's Vlogmas videos, you know, where they take you around and they show you what they're working on and stuff that they're doing throughout the day. Part of me feels like if I could just do that from behind the camera, and I don't have to, you know, make myself look presentable if I don't have to, and I can just talk about stuff and then edit those clips together in a couple hours, like that might make sure that this happens moving forward. So we're gonna try that. Let me know what you think. And with that, I guess I will show you what I've been up to in the past couple days since I came up with this fabulous idea / stole it from everyone else. Okay, so it is Friday morning and I decided to take a quick break from work to start on this little, I don't know, vlogging adventure, if you will, and show this Christmas candy sampler Afghan that I started working on. It's from Annie's Kit Clubs, and Ziggy is really loving it. He's also really liking this blanket that I finished, which I guess I'll talk about later. But yeah, so this is from Annie's Kit Clubs, and I haven't done any of them before, but I kept seeing it advertised on, I think it was Facebook and probably Instagram too, because, you know, they're all kind of the same thing in terms of stalking you and what you do. But anyway, so every month they send you yarn and the next part of the pattern, and it's meant for really beginner crocheters, and you'll see why. So yeah, if you're new to crocheting, you're just learning how to do it, this would be probably a perfect project for you. And I think this is the right side. So yeah, and this is why. So it starts off with like your more basic stitches. So this is just, I mean, standard double and single crochets and half double crochets, and then, you know, mesh. Oh good, another blanket for Ziggy to steal from me. Love that for me. But yeah, you can see that it starts off really, really simple, and then as you get more into it, the stitches become more and more complicated. I just really liked the look of this. You can get it, and I want to say it's like 5 different color combinations, and like I said, every month I think you get the next like 2 or 3 stripes, and they send you the yarn if you need it, based on the yardage that you used before, I guess. But I really liked this color combo in particular. There's kind of what it'll look like when you're done. It shows you which stripes you're working on this month. And then come December, I'll have a finished Christmas Afghan. And I just like this particular color combination. I think it's more contemporary. Like, I don't know, for those of you who also grew up in the 80s and 90s, Christmas was always very like dark greens, deep reds, things like that. And obviously that's still on here, but they've also mixed in the pinks and the bright green. Like, I love bright red and this green together. Like, that's one of my favorite Christmas combinations. So yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to show you how far I got. This was the first month's, obviously. I guess I'll come back next month when they do the next bit. And like I said, it should hopefully get more complicated. This was really nice, though, for kind of a potato chip crocheting project. Fritzy's over here panting. So if you hear a dog that sounds like he's going to pass out, it's because he's 13 years old and not getting any younger. And now he's going to dig a hole in my carpet. So that's cool. But yeah, it was really nice kind of potato chip crocheting. You know, I did a whole lot of knitting for Christmas and a whole lot of socks. So it was nice to just have something that I needed to work back and forth on and not really need to concentrate. So yeah, I mean, definitely check out these kits. They're actually really cool. Annie's is usually hit or miss with me in terms of what they offer with their kits. But like I said, I just really like this color combo. So I needed to have it. So I pulled the trigger. And I want to say you get a lot of % off of your first month's kit as well. So you can get it for a decent price. But yeah, really excited about it. So there's that. So something I thought that would be cool to show you guys are these lock and locks. So my parents are, I guess, addicted to QVC, and they had lock and locks on, and my parents are like constantly buying lock and locks, and I mean, they're kind of amazing, right? So you can use them for food, you can use them for whatever. I have chosen to use one of mine to house these cross-stitch Christmas ornaments that I've been making. I have a bunch of these. They're by Jody from Satsuma Street, and I have a whole bunch of her kits to make ornaments like this. Christmas, Halloween. She also has some samplers and things like that, bunting and whatnot that you can make. So I finished one, and I didn't want to store them in the basement with the rest of the Christmas decorations because, I mean, you never know, right? Like, there could be mice, there could be flooding, heaven forbid moths, which is an issue I already deal with up here as it is. So I figured that as I finish these, I could store them in the lock and lock. And so, of course, since I have one finished, I chose the biggest container possible because that's how Geminis roll, right? But then, you know, you can seal them forever. And there you have it. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. So if anyone needs like craft storage ideas, QVC has these daily deals or daily specials, I guess, from time to time. And you can just, you know, partake, and the prices are pretty good and they're really useful. We got them in a bunch of different sizes. So I want to say we got like 8 different sizes. So really cool and nice to have it in my craft room and somewhere to store my ornaments safely. Good morning, everyone. It is now the morning of Saturday, January 15th. Payday, hooray. I'm here. I just made, you might have seen, I made myself some coffee. One of my coworkers got me this mug because she couldn't resist. And I'm here with my little dudes to work on my shawlography a little bit this morning. I'm on the last section where you just make 1,000,001 of these stripes, and it's a little tedious, I'm not gonna lie, but it's gonna be great. It looks awesome. Everyone else's finished products look awesome. As you know, and I probably mentioned a million times, I got married in October. So all of my knitting projects got put on the back burner for that, and we went on 2 honeymoons where I knit a little bit, but not as much as I'd like for obvious reasons. And then it was time to work on everything for Christmas, like my thousands of socks that I knit for people and cross-stitching, which takes me forever because I'm not very fast at that yet. So this had to get put away. So it's just me and my little mans under our big blanket. It's literally a big blanket. It's one of those that's like 10 feet square, so Scott can't steal it from me in the middle of use. And I'm gonna watch a Bailey Sarian Dark History video, and I just kind of entertain myself because Scott's at work today. I'm going over to a friend's later to have brunch and learn how to use our new moon diaries. So that'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to that. Here's hoping we don't get Omicron because, you know, that's a thing. And at some point I need to hop on my Peloton because I did a rest day yesterday, and it's very necessary that I do something with that today. I'm debating if I want to do it before I go over her place or when I come home. I know I should do it before because I'm not going to want to do it later, but I'm also feeling kind of lazy this morning, so we'll see. But yeah, this is coming along. Take a look at my knitting bag. That's really cool. I got this at the Lehigh Valley Fiber Arts Festival. So obviously cats and yarn, but also clear plastic so you can see the project that's inside. So that's been really nice for me. And I've got my dog's little tushy in the shot because who doesn't want to see that? But yeah, so there's that. Things are kind of a mess down here right now, as you can see, but dog toys everywhere. And then I have my little crafting table set up over there with all my teas and seltzers and things like that. So it's a little bit of a mess, but we'll get there. Welcome to my chaos. Let's see what happens. Apparently there is this whole thing going on over on Instagram about people criticizing other knitters for the way that they knit, saying that they knit wrong. This was happening on someone who knits English style. As we all probably know, there are two different methods of knitting English style. I personally knit continental, and I think it's important to note that there is no wrong way to knit. As long as your stitches look the way that they're supposed to, as long as you're being efficient, then knit the way that you want to. So in the comments below, let me know how you guys knit. If you're English, continental, combination, whatever. I used to knit combination, and I've gotten a lot of real negative comments in some of my videos about it. And I think it just makes knitters sound like they're really exclusive and kind of silly. So those are just my 2 cents. So that project that you saw me putting into that knitting bag that my husband got me for Christmas was my unicorn stripes using Metal and Tosh unicorn tails. And if you follow the Bakery Bears Patreon at all, you will know from our last Pop Live that I got to show up and do a What's on My Needles segment about what was on my needles. And at the time it was the unicorn stripes. So I figured I would show you how much further I've gotten since then. I'm pretty pleased with the progress considering all the other garbage I've been working on. And of course I'm in the middle of a row because why not? I went over my friends yesterday and knit 2 stripes while we took a moonology class, which I can get into if you really want to. It has to do with using the lunar cycle to manifest stuff that you want. And even if you think it's a bunch of woo garbage, because it kind of is, I think it helps keep you motivated to keep focusing on yourself, and that's why I'm doing it. But anyway, we took a 4-hour class together on how to read our birth charts and understand how the moon cycles work and how that plays into our birth charts. And while that was going on, I knit on some more rows. So I think when I did the pop, I was somewhere in here, and that was a week, 2 weeks ago. I think it was a week ago. So yeah, I've gotten pretty far for also working on other projects. So I'm pretty pleased with that. It's really mindless. It's just a simple chevron pattern. My one regret, and I mentioned this on the pop, is that I kind of wish I'd have just done the cowl so I didn't have to purl 150 stitches every other row, because that gets real tedious real quick. But there was part of me that just wanted to do the scarf. So there you have it. These are the rest of the unicorn tails that are left, which is quite a bit, as you can see. But yeah, and just a little shout out to Kay and Dan. Thanks for having me on. That's something else that's happened in the past year, is I am the new Knitability editor. So I've been helping them out, kind of prettifying the magazine, doing their designer and maker interviews, and kind of handling the schedule and things like that. And that's been really fun. So it was cool to actually show up to a patron-only podcast. So if you aren't already a patron, I will leave a link below so you can go check it out, and maybe you can see me on there in the future. Something else that I finished, and I started it the beginning of New Year's week. So I think it was like January 3rd was when I started this. So it took me 2 weeks to finish, but it is this massive, it's called the No. 4 blanket, and you can get the kit from We Are Knitters. The yarn is called Yarnicorn, because of course it is, like as if I would buy any other kit, right? So it's called Yarnicorn. It's pink, and then it's got blue and yellow speckles in it, and it is ginormous. It's like super bulky yarn. You use, I think it's size 10 needles to knit it. So even though it went really fast, I kind of felt like I was back in kindergarten learning how to write again with like those giant crayons. So that's how I felt the whole time. I really love this thing. It's super warm. The animals, however, I don't know if you can hear them in the background. They're barking at literally everything today, but they have pretty much claimed it as their own and lay on it all the time. So I don't stand a chance to ever actually use this thing, but I really like it. I still have to weave in the ends, but I'm lazy, so that hasn't happened yet. But yeah, it's really cute. The pattern was well written. I do have a complaint about the needles. So I got, as part of the kit, you get the yarn, you get the needles, and you get a printed version of the pattern. And the needles just like broke. So the cord just like fell out halfway through one of my rows. And luckily, like, this is, you know, single ply, just like wool. So it's like really sticky. It's not like really soft acrylic or really tight skinny stitches that you would have on a sock. So when the cable broke, which it did multiple times, I was able to just quickly pick up the stitches. As long as I was careful, it didn't fall out, but it still fell out frequently enough that I wanted to scream. And if I wasn't going to finish it in like a couple days, I probably would have just bought new needles, but I didn't really feel like it. So really kind of disappointed in that. The only time I've had that issue in the past was when I use interchangeables, because the way that I knit, the cables always unscrew themselves and then screw me. So I don't really use those that much. So I was kind of annoyed to put it mildly by that, but we survived and we have a blanket. So that's done, and I'm throwing those needles away. I guess that's it for this episode of Beer Knits, as I sit here and drink tea instead of beer. Let me know what you thought about this setup, especially if you think like it'll help me put out more frequent content, or if it's just interesting or not interesting at all. I think it's going to help me put out just more life stuff in general, maybe like as we're going out and doing things, maybe I can record some of that and really do more of like a Vlogmas style type of shenanigan. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really out of practice with this, so I keep saying and it's driving me crazy. So with that, I will thank you all for joining me. If you would like to support my future endeavors with this, I have set up a Ko-fi account, which I will link down to you below. So feel free to tip me if you enjoy this video or my blog, or just want to hear me ramble some more. I would, if this keeps going on, like to get a new camera. So that's where all that stuff would go instead of recording on my phone, because you get this type of quality. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys later. I will stop droning on and on now and talk to you guys soon. Bye.